Focal TV, bringing you innovation to broadcasting, news, views, comments, and analysis of issues happening in Liberia and the rest of the world. Focal TV, with check and balance, we bring it as it unfolds. Focal TV, bringing you face to face with newsmakers in town.
Hello there, my name is K. Lyndon Toba. I'm in search of a platform where I can get credible information of our daily happenings in Liberia and the world at large.
Hello, Lyndon Toba. My name is Greg Pa. Haven't you heard about Focal Online TV?
You say Focal Online TV?
Focal Online TV is located within a Tobo village community along the Japanese highway.
Tell me more about the platform.
This platform, called Focal Online TV Daily Edition of Inside the Print Media, does not encourage any form of dialogue between the viewers and the presenters.
Oh, you mean nobody calling there?
No, you can't call on a show. Let me talking out like with no calling there. So all you can do is you will listen to the news, and they can also encourage you to buy the newspaper to listen to the news in details.
But do you do viewer recognition at times?
Oh yes, we do viewer recognition. When you are watching, we notify you, and sometimes we even appreciate you on a show, telling you thank you for always following us. We also encourage you to share the live stream, because the more you share the live stream, we transform and we transition ourselves as a broadcast team as well.
Wow. So when can I better get this program you are talking?
Welcome to Focal Online TV. Welcome to another edition of Inside Open Media. Today is September 18, 2023. Today is Monday. And we are grateful to be here today in studio. My name is Katrina Par, and I am your presenter here on the daily edition of Inside Open Media. I'm here this morning with my co-presenter. His name is
Linda Toba.
And we are here to inform you about the happenings within our country, Liberia, and the world at large. So this morning we'll look at our newspapers in studio. We'll have a revision of our newspapers in studio. We have the Daily Observer newspaper. We have the Front Page African newspaper. We have the New Dawn newspaper and the Hot Pepper newspaper. Moving forward, we have our international source, and that is the BBC. We're going to be bringing you top stories from that stage. But before leaving you for this short break, let me first give you the headlines under the Daily Observer newspaper and the other newspapers that were later stated out here. Mayhack's girlfriend to death, then poisoned himself. Mayhack's girlfriend to death, then poisoned himself. That's one of the headlines under the Daily Observer newspaper. It has been there for a very long time. And they are still repeating this particular aspect of this news. And then we have another headline, and Kaylin Topa will fill you in reading the headlines. So once I get back, I will then give you information relating to other headlines that have been read out. Kaylin Topa, can you read for us the headlines, please?
I'll take the Front Page Africa newspaper. Liberia drug enforcement agency arrest Stevie Daniels as result of the RRA drug. Go over to another headlines. New equipment at Port of Monrovia. That's another headline from the Front Page Africa. Then we move over to the Hot Pepper newspaper. Repeater rail left hinders multi-user arrangement efforts. That is all of the headlines from the two newspapers. It's back to you for the continuation.
Thanks to you, Kaylin. So again, we resume from the Daily Observer newspaper, and we have American missionary held for attempted murder of Liberian wife. American missionary held for attempted murder of Liberian wife. We now move quickly to another headline under the Daily 7 newspaper. Liberia's urban sanitation problem. Liberia's urban sanitation problem. And then we go straight there to the New Dawn newspaper where we have two Liberian students missing in Switzerland. Two Liberian students missing in Switzerland. And then we have CDC versus UP, who has the crowd. CDC versus UP, who has the crowd. So these are the headlines under the Daily 7 newspaper, the front page African newspaper, the New Dawn newspaper, and and the Hot Pepper newspaper. So thanks to you, Kelly Dotogba, who have joined me this morning under this very cold weather. I'm saying hot weather, under this very cold weather and rainy day to serve our country Liberia. So let's take this short break, folks. Once we get back, I fill you in on all of the happenings within our country Liberia, and we'll begin firstly from the Daily 7 newspaper. Kindly stay with me as we take this short break, please.
Hello dear, my name is K. Lyndon Toba. I'm in search of a platform where I can get credible information of
Evening, good afternoon, wherever you are watching us from. Welcome to Focal Online TV, where we bring you the daily edition of Inside the Print Media. If you are watching from the diaspora, a pleasant good morning, good evening, good afternoon to you due to your geographical location. If you are watching us from in our motherland, Liberia, a pleasant good morning to you and how are you doing? So we encourage you to make use of our comment section here on the daily edition of Inside the Print Media on Focal Online TV as it relates to all of the training stories that will be read out here today. Remember, here at Focal Online TV, all we do is we bring innovation to broadcasting through our news reading and on other platforms being hosted here by Focal Online TV. This is how we draw your attention to the first news on our platform here this morning from the Daily 7 newspaper. American missionary held for attempted murder of Liberian wife. The news in details. The Liberian National Police have begun investigation. Lucas Richard, an American who had allegedly attempted to slit the throat of his Liberian wife Jessica Lord. Richard, a missionary of the Greek South Church, is currently in police custody undergoing investigations for attempted murder, the police said in a post. The Liberian National Police have arrested and are investigating an American national, Lucas Richard, on allegations of criminal attempt to commit murder and aggravated assault. The police said on September 14 at 3 p.m. It is alleged that Sister Richards drove the victim Jessica Lord around Dixville Caldwell, where he attacked and injured her, leaving her with laceration on her neck, the back of the head, and fingers. Victim's Lord is currently undergoing treatment at the John F. Kennedy Medical Hospital, while suspect Richards is detained at the headquarters of the Liberian National Police. The public can be assured that justice will be served. Richard has, however, vehemently denied the allegations, asserting that Lord had been injured in a motorcycle accident. She was hit by a motorbike. The motorbike struck her, causing her to fall backward and roll into the ditch he maintained. In his dinner, Richard told police that the victim had asked him for 150 United States dollars to buy foodstuff from the supermarket. After shopping, he dropped her along the roadside for her to get a motorbike that would take her back home. From where we decided that I can drop her. She would get on a motorbike while standing on the road. I saw a motorbike come from nowhere and hit her, he said. Rachel's position was, however, being denied by the victim, who claimed that her traditionally wedded husband had attempted to kill her with a knife. But firstly, before we could get out of the car, he took a big knife, saying that he was afraid of the snake and that in case he saw one, he would kill it. So we got out of the car. He put a knife in his pocket after we got to the riverside. The area was crowded, so he couldn't do anything. Later on, we went to some kind of bush area. He said he wanted to urinate. After urinating, he said he saw some kind of animal in the bush, but the knife was in his pocket. He called me to come see, but I told him that I was scared. So I just stood behind him. If I was going to get closer, he could have killed me right there. So I just stood behind him. When he finished urinating, I told him to wash his hands. Then we drove in front. He said he wanted to urinate again. So he said, stand behind me small. I stood behind him, but not too close. So when he finished, we got back into the car, went in front small and passed by a cemetery. We went in front small and he said the car tire had a problem and he wanted to change the tire. So I said, okay. I was sitting in the car at first. Then he said, oh, Jessica, I think you will need to help me, Lord said. According to Lord, Richard brought out a metal tool used to loosen the bolts of the tire. Then he told her she had dirt in her hair. So as he was cleaning it, I heard poop. I thought the car tire burst or current jerked me. So I fell to the ground and started checking. When I he pushed me back on the ground. That was when he took the knife and began cutting my neck, Lord said. The mother of the victim shared that her daughter and Rachel initially crossed paths at a boarding school in Cape Mount. Rachel subsequently fell in love with Lord and proposed marriage. My daughter confided in me and I suggested that we meet this man. She informed me that he was already married to an older woman. A week later, both of them came and we held a traditional wedding ceremony. She went on to reveal that after the wedding, Lord returned to her boarding school. She later called me to express concerns about her pregnancy. I assured her we would visit the hospital upon her return to town. She confirmed that Rachel was aware of the situation and was supportive. However, issues arose when school authorities accused Lord of having an affair with Richard. Richard informed us that he intended to find an apartment with all the necessary amenities before leaving for the United States. I explained that finding an apartment might be challenging, but she could stay with us for the time being and he could send the money when available. Richard returned later that evening. He arrived that night, and Jessica handed him for medical records from ESWA Hospital, her medical record from ESWA Hospital confirming her pregnancy. The victim's mother also accused Richard of administering an injection that resulted in the termination of Jessica's 2 weeks pregnancy a few months ago. He injected her, and shortly after Jessica reported that her legs had weakened, I immediately informed her father and he asked if I was certain it was intentional. I was hesitant to believe it due to his behavior, similar caring behavior. This is how we transition to another portion of our news headlines, and the headline reads Liberia's urban sanitation problem. In various Liberian cities, unsanitary conditions resulting from improper waste management have become a pervasive issue. The absence of effective waste disposal and limited enforcement of environmental sanitation laws have compounded this problem. This article sheds light on the challenges faced by local authorities in addressing these critical issues and highlights the need for collective action to promote cleaner, healthier communities. This is how we move quickly to Kate Topa, who will fill us in from the front page African newspaper.
Thank you very much, for such a beautiful coordination from Rich African News. Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency arrests one Stephen Daniel as owner of the RIA drug. Front Page Africa has confirmed the arrest of one Stephen S. Daniel, an employee of the Ministry of Posts and Telecommunications in connection to the drug that was being smuggled from the Rabat International Airport. Daniel has been identified as the consignee who flew the drugs into Liberia via Kenya Airway on August 31st. The airway bill for the consignment is in possession of Front Page Africa shows Daniel as the consignee, and the consignment is described as dry kit, a form of drug. Kit contains the alkali aconite, a stimulant that causes greater sociability, excitement, and the loss of appetite. And the consignment, upon inspection by customs in the presence of Jump Security on Monday, was declared organic moringa tea and was turned over to the Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency for further testing. The LDEA test discovered the presence of methamphetamine or meta, a highly addictive drug. Daniel works with the Ministry of Posts and Telecommunication as a dispatcher. He also runs a private company, Africa Express Global Incorporated, as the chief executive officer. The suspended director of security at Rabat International Airport, Samuel Freeman, and the cargo officer, Joe Stravel Simpson, who is not the NSA director, have found themselves in the spotlight as prime suspect in a drug-related incident. Both individuals are now sought after by the Liberia National Police and the Liberia Drug Enforcement Agencies on charges of alleged drug trafficking. George Travel Services served as the general sales agent for Kenyan Airways and is responsible for tickets and cargo operations in Monrovia. Freeman, who reportedly implicated in the chief of protocol for the Republic of Liberia, Mr. Finabono, in connection with the drug discovered inside multiple boxes he attempted to smuggle from the tarmac through an unauthorized gate on Monday, vehemently denied the allegations regarding the content of these boxes. His denial followed a thorough inspection by the customs in the presence of joint security forces, which revealed what appeared to be an organic moringa tea rather than drug. Meanwhile, a separate incident unfolded as custom officers at Rabat International Airport were burglarized on Tuesday. However, the Liberia Revenue Authority clarified that this burglary appeared unrelated to the recent drug controversy. Danica's case Segway, the communication manager at the Liberia Revenue Authority, confirmed the break-in, explained that an individual named Joe Blair, an employee of Elite Facility, a janitorial company contracted by the LRA for cleaning services, was arrested and handed over to the police. Blair reportedly arrived at work early and entered stealing, but to no amazing outlet have been reported to the police, continuing their investigation. Meanwhile, President Weah has forcefully denied allegations made by the opposition leaders implicating the government in drug importations into Liberia. Opposition figures within Liberia have accused the CDC government of exacerbating the influx of drugs into the country, which they argue is harming the younger generations of Liberians. During a recent political rally held at Banga, Bon County, at the Debe Kenyon Sports Stadium on September 13, President Weah refuted these claims, excited that drug abuse in Liberia has been enduring issues spanning many years, one of which is government. His government should not be held so responsible. President Weah candidly shared his personal experience with the drug issues in Liberia, dating back to his youth and even during his tenure as senator and now as president. Moreover, President Weah pointed out that during the presidencies of former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf and former Vice President Joseph Joman Boakai, Liberia experienced a notable surge in drug-related activities. He cited an instance involving the former director of National Security Agency (NSA), who was apprehended with drug in his vehicle along the Liberia, Sierra Leone border during Ellen Johnson Sirleaf presidencies and Joseph Boakai vice presidency. Additionally, President Weah emphasized his administration's commitment to combating the drug problem in Liberia, citing recently enacted drug law as evidence of the dedication to this cause. We move over to another headline. Over the weekend, newsmen came across post workers' images from social media platforms. The post shows some very large equipment being imported into the country at the port, with APM terminal name strapped on them. A visit of the port area to conduct an investigation of the images led to a newsman seeing two gigantic towers and machinery being offloaded. The machinery is so big as it was visible even from the access road where the newsmen were located. Further investigations then led to contacting the commercial department of APM terminal. This brings us to a close of the front page Africa. Back to you, Grafina, for the continuations of this news.
Thanks to you, Lyndon Tucker, for filling us in from the African newspaper. And it's good being back here again to commence our reading from the New Dawn newspaper. So we have the New Dawn newspaper. We have two Liberian students missing in Switzerland. At least two Liberian students from the United Methodist University (UMU) are reported missing in Switzerland while on studies tour in Europe. The missing students are Chase Sadira Bati, a female graduate of the UMU with identification number 22434, and David F. Fada, a male, a male student with identification number 22052. Both students are said to have defected their study groups to an unknown location during a 2023 university tour in St. Gallen, Switzerland. So this is how we commence, and we'll run straightly to the hot paper newspaper to fill you in from that standpoint.
So, okay, thank you, Griffin, for such a beautiful coordination as always. Hot Pepper newspaper. Repeated rail theft hinders multi-users arrangement efforts. 2 weeks ago, ArcelorMittal Liberia reported yet another derailment resulting from a sabotage, a theft of rail fasteners around the Liberian Agriculture Company areas in Wee Statutory District, Gambassa County. Although there were no injuries or death recorded from the derailment locomotive, which was on its way from Yekepa to Buchanan, the persistent issues of rail theft along the Buchanan-Yekepa Railroad route poses a severe and direct threat to both the government and its people. The government, the government owns the essential transport infrastructures, and the ramifications of these thefts ripple through the entire nation, negatively impacting its efforts to implement a multi-user arrangement from all the rail system, aimed at generating additional income and addressing socio-economic challenges across Liberia. The rail link between Buchanan and Yekepa as a national asset is important to Liberia's economic and social development. It serves as a lifeline for the transportations of all from which government gets revenue. Rail is essential as well as provides the opportunity for transportations of essential goods, facilitates trade and enhances connectivity between regions. Furthermore, it plays an important role in the government's vision to promote inclusivity and address socio-economic disparity by allowing multiple users to leverage the resources of mutual benefit. However, the unrelenting theft of rail infrastructures and materials not only cripples the rail operations integrity, but also imposes significant financial burden on ArcelorMittal, the operator of the rail, given that for each time a theft occurs, the company spends thousands of dollars to repair, while movement and logistics between Buchanan and Yekepa comes to a halt, thereby denying the government of needed revenue. The cost of the road the cost of the railroad, replacing stolen materials, repairing damaging sections, and ensuring the railroad security divert precious resources that could be better allocated for crucial public services such as education, healthcare, and infrastructure development. Moreover, the continued disruption caused by rail theft jeopardizes the government's plan for the multi-purpose users arrangement. This initiative is designed to attract investment, create jobs, and stimulate economic growth along the rail corridors. The revenue generated from the venture could be instrumental in addressing present social concerns, including poverty alleviations and access to quality education and healthcare for Liberians. The government of Liberia, to its point, demonstrate commitment to ensuring the security and sustainability of the rail corridor. We called upon stakeholders, including local communities, businesses, and law enforcement agencies, to join hands in protecting this vital national asset. An ANL release observed. Only though collaborative efforts can be preserved, the Buchanan to Yekepa Railroad interpreted realized the potentials of multi-user arrangements and ultimately improve the lives of all Liberians. The government and the people of Liberia stand together in the face of these challenges, determined to secure our shared future and promote the well-being of every citizen through economic empowerment and job security, the release noted. With this being said, it brings us to the final close of front page, our hot pepper newspaper rather. And back to you, Grafina, for the
Thanks to you,
continuation.
Killing. So far, so we have another story, another newspaper, new equipment of Freeport at Freeport of Monrovia. New equipment at Freeport of Monrovia. New equipment at Freeport of Monrovia. Over the weekend, newsmen came across port workers' images from social media platforms. The post shows some very large equipment being imported into the country at the port, with APM terminal's name inscribed on them. A visit to the port area to conduct an investigation of the images led to newsmen seeing two gigantic towers and machinery being overloaded. The machinery is so big it was visible even from the access road where the newsmen were located. Further investigation then led to contacting the commercial department of APM Terminal of Liberia. So this is how we wrap up on the local news here within our country, Liberia. This morning we had trending news of our country. There's a need for us to get ourselves a newspaper and follow up on all of these things that have been read out to you. Or better still, get glued to your phone as we bring you innovation through Focal Online TV. We had the American missionary held for attempted murder of like real wife. We all know this story that have been trending on the internet. We discussed it this on Friday, and we are here again on it. And he have been caught to investigation by the Liberian police, and the American embassy is being involved as well. But the story is kind of defaulting from his end because he has two person who are already giving some information that are similar, and his information is kind of difficult to understand or to believe. So we have another aspect of our news, like we're all barring sanitation problem. As you know, we have serious issue as it relates to our sanitation condition from the improper waste management that have been pervasive issue within our country like Liberia. And these things, the absence of effective waste disposal and limited enforcement of environmental sanitation leads to something very bad, especially as a country. So there's a need for those who are in authority to kindly take hold of these things that are happening. We have two Liberian students who have gone missing. They were a student of United Methodist University. You have one of them named Sajrila Bhatti, a female graduate of UMU with her identification number 22434. And then you have David F. Fala, a male student with identification number 22052. They got missing On Tuesday, 12th of September, according to reports, UMU students were sent to Switzerland along with other students from Sarah Maris Polytechnic as part of the 2023 US Studies Tour on the OST Eastern Switzerland University of Applied Sciences. So there's a need that our government can kind of give ears to these things in search for the missing students who are namely Chase Sadrali Bati and David F. Fala. CDC crowd versus UP crowd, it was not something easy yesterday. Looking at the massive turnout from the masses, looking at the massive turnout from the masses under that downpour of rain killing. Don't talk back. Can you just summarize and be brief about it? How do you think this election gonna be like October 10th?
Well, I foresee a very competitive process, considering the fact that there has been two massive turnout. The CDC had their rally on September 7th. We saw the massive turnout, likewise Unity Party. Well, Unity Party was quite incredible because of the weather conditions, the heavy downpour of rain. I expected that rain to keep a lot of people indoor because we have these situations that Liberians are very, very afraid of rain. But Liberia defied the the odds on yesterday. Lots of partisans and several auxiliary members came out, wearing their party regalias, and some of them even holding Joseph Waka portraits in their hands. So it was very, very amazing. But I foresee a very competitive process in this election.
And the slogans are being sung yesterday. Unfortunately, I don't have the chance to speak with our correspondents who were on the scene yesterday. His name is Kil Mohammed Fani Kanim, but I happened to talk to him this morning, and he told me it was not easy. As a journalist, he was protecting our he was protecting our camera. Shout out to you, Kil Mohammed. Sorry, Mohammed Fani Kanim. I'm calling you Kil now.
You want to attach my
Yeah. So Mohammed did an extreme work yesterday, and I mean the turnout was quite encouraging. This should be a stepping stone to those who are in authority as it relates to the CDC, the political party, that you need to step up your game. Unity Party is not for play. Looking at people under that rain yesterday in the crowd that was pouring, they show different dimensions within our country. You have people from Grand Crew, you have people from Mark Gibby, you have people from Grand Basser, and before this incident occurred yesterday, there was some it was like almost a Christmas day. You have people taking their picture of their clothes. You have people taking their picture, sleeping inside their clothes. I mean, this is a momentum. This signifies that the Liberian people are speaking regardless of weather condition.
Yeah.
This tell you that you have to be mindful, President. We are your historical man, and mind you, you could be a history for Liberia to just serve for one term. I hope they signal you to put your house in order as a president of Liberia and will be elected or might be elected come October 10 or may not, whatever the case is. You should put your house in order. The Liberian people are speaking, but you are not listening. So you have to come to a point of reasoning. I hope you get that, and I hope you step up your game as a president. Regardless of that, kudos to you, Unity Partisan. Kudos to you. You guys did an extreme job yesterday under the rain, and you were chanting with your slogans. Bwaka will win. Bwaka will win. My Bwaka Bene in my heart. I mean, all of these things brought. I mean, watching you chant and say all of these things. I mean, the green leaf that was being portrayed yesterday, you see people, and there's another guy, and there's another disabled guy. Sorry, I'm calling you disabled because I don't know your full name. He was there under the rain, and he was wielding his wheelchair just towards the stadium. I mean, I see this as loyalty. I see this as loyalty, right?
Yeah, there were series of photos that were on the internet
Yeah.
prior to the actual date, which was yesterday. One of the most comical photos that got me laughing when I saw it on the internet was the guy. He lied his outfit that he should have worn.
And his cutlass.
And you pull a cutlass.
Yeah, I saw that.
So that was that was the very.
It was actually an amazing job from the Unity Party people. But I know that definitely if the green was not gonna be at that level, there could have been more than what occurred yesterday.
Definitely.
But the rain. But to see Unity Parisine under that rain, or to see our Liberian people under that rain yesterday, crossing the water. There's a water when you come into the mansion side there. That in AMU side you have to pass. People were passing in that water, helping others to push the motorbike. I mean, see our Liberian under the rain rather, and you see our Liberian young girls taking off their reef cap or letting our reef cap to get wet for you. I mean, Joseph Yuma Boaka, this is a plus sign for you. The people have trust in you, and all you have to do is this one term legacy that you want. It's time now that you step up your game as well to be able to execute all of those things. But just to wrap it up from our international source, BBC, there's this issue with Libya. We talked about it before. The bodies left unrecognizable by disaster. You know, Libya have been faced with this flood issue, and there's a need for us to pray for them. People, there are certain bodies that have been unidentified, and the families are in tears looking at the number of people. You have 3,000 people this concern. There's a need for us to pray for them. There's a need to pray for our country, Liberia. All of the happenings, listening to the drugs issue, folks, we need prayers. Let's continue to protect the peace of our country, Liberia. We love you. My name is Katrina Courage Parr, and I'm here with my co-presenter. His name is
Lyndon Chopa.
This is how we say have a nice day at work, at your business center. We'll be back again tomorrow to fill you in. I will be Jalo. Thanks for joining us, and all those who join us in our live stream, we appreciate you. We will be back again tomorrow to inform you of the happenings within our country, Liberia. But with that, do have yourself a pleasant day. I love you. My name is Katrina Courage.
Focal TV, bringing you innovation to broadcasting, news, views, comments, and analysis.